All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Peter Renna here with another dollar bin digging finds for you. Now, this week I was lucky enough to not only get a few books at my LCS out of the dollar bins, but there was also a sale this weekend. That's sort of like an outdoor show almost. It's like two dealers bring a ton of books, a bunch of dollar books, some stuff that's a little more, a little more expensive, which I'll show off in next week's pickups video, the things I got there. But the dollar stuff I'm specifically holding for this show right here. Now, this show is different from the dollar bin video that I usually do, where I usually pick a theme and kind of stick to a topic. This is strictly the books that I'm going to show you that I picked up for either $1 or $2 out of those cheap boxes, and I'll let you know if it's a $2 book or not, because again, I'm seeing more of those $2 books every day when I'm hitting those shops and the outdoor flea markets and whatnot. It's just inflation is hitting us. What can you do? So we're going to start seeing probably some more $2 boxes as time passes. So just want to factor that in. Now, you can check out the article over on comicbookinvest.com, where I'm going to spotlight 3 of my picks, 3 things that I picked up out of this this pile that I got here. But please, if you like what I'm doing, like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you get notified every time new content drops. I'm trying to do more here on my channel with the heat checks I'm doing with Ben C. Got another Star Wars thing in the works as well. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this stuff. Please let me know in the comments, and just hang on for a moment and we'll get right to the books. All right, well, let's get right into the pile of books that I got here. We're going to start off with the dollar stuff that I got. For the most part, most of these books were $1. I only got a couple that were $2. And to be honest, I actually got a bunch of these for 50 cents because there was a deal where it was buy 20 books, $20 books, and get 20 free. So you knew I was coming home with at least 40 books because I can't pass that up. So I was just grabbing a bunch of stuff. Now, I'm not going to show you everything I got because I don't want this to be a half-hour long video. So I'm just going to spotlight some of the books that I grabbed that I found kind of interesting. So we're going to start off with some books that I've talked about a few times over my runs of doing dollar bin digging videos. This is stuff that I mentioned before in articles that I pick up every time I see them. Even so, every time I see them, I go and grab them. So we're going to start off with the book, one of the books I just wrote about this past week with the Riri Williams stuff, and that's with the New Warriors 24. I grabbed 2 of these out of the boxes. This is the first Wellspring of Power, I think it's called, or the Well of All Things. The old school, that's the old school title of it. So I saw this, and again, I practice what I preach. So I grabbed 2 of these because I found 2 of them in a box. And again, those ended up being 50 cents each. This is just a great read, and I kind of hope that this eventually shows up in the MCU at some point. But Captain Britain and the MI-13 is one that I would just recommend grabbing just to read it. But hey, who knows? This is a great story, and this is something that could be fun if they were to adapt it. Maybe even tie in Blade when they get to that vampire stuff from this story. I don't know. Possibilities, Looking at the Black Widow article I did a couple months back, I think now, this Soviet Super Soldiers, #1. Just a random book, but I saw it, and for 50 cents, as I said, after all said and done, newsstand, pretty good shape. I figured I'd grab it. So Soviet Super Soldiers. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get a little more of them. Going back to some of that WandaVision stuff and WandaVision spec, got Avengers #61 here. So figured I'd grab it. Might as well. Again, for cheap. And one of those covers that I liked from doing the Loki article, again, a little while ago, I grabbed this New Avengers, what is this, 29, New Avengers 29. It's just a pretty cool cover, and I'd recommend grabbing it. Again, if you're getting it for $1 or less, what do you got to lose, right? So that's the stuff that I mentioned before, and now we're going to look in on some of the Marvel stuff that I got. These are just Marvel, kind of, I don't want to say spec. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's just kind of Marvel, possible MCU-related things that are just percolating in my mind, thinking of what could happen and what has happened. So my first book is something that already has happened, and this is Nova #8. This is actually a $2 book, but definitely worth $2. It's got a few ticks on the side, but still, I wasn't leaving it behind for $2. I mean, this is first Cosmo, the Russian cosmonaut dog, and first Nowhere, as well as the Luminals. I think it's a team of Luminals, like a bunch of characters. Now, whether they show up, who knows? But Nowhere is a place we've seen before in the MCU, and Cosmo, who knows? Maybe we get them back. This is just a book. It still sells pretty well, so I'd grab it if you find it for cheap. And like I said, I found that for $2. Next up, I grabbed issues 2, 3, and 4 of this 90s Blade series. Not easy to find these, really, these days. Like, number 1 has that foil cover, and it was doing pretty well. But for 50 cents, I was grabbing these early issues just because they were there and figured, why not, right? This character already appeared in Thor, but Curse, thought it was worth grabbing for 50 cents. As I said, once I knew I had to get to 40 books, I just started grabbing anything that was kind of catching my eye. So sometimes you do things like that. And next up, I know I've mentioned these before, just in the for Fing Fan Foom. This is Iron Man. This is the run of 270 to 275, but we got some good, again, Fin Fang Foom and Mandarin stuff throughout these issues. So I just grabbed them. Who knows? Who knows where we're going to get the Dragon Seed. It's just a fun story. Pretty cool stuff. I like this this age of Iron Man stuff with Mandarin and kind of Armor Wars, and I don't know if they're going to tie any of this stuff in. I mean, they're moving Mandarin over to Shang-Chi, but hey, there could be some connectivity. I'm actually going to do that kind of tied to this week's Dollar Bin article, because there were some toys, the Marvel Legends toys for Shang-Chi got released, and there was an interesting lineup of characters that they chose to show. So those are the characters they're making. Maybe we see some more of these characters in that movie line, because that's what that toy line's based off of, is more of that movie stuff. But that's for this week, later this week on Friday. So following our Marvel picks, we're just going to move on to some randomness. I know it's kind of a catch-all, me mentioning randomness, but hey, it is what it is. I can't really put these all together in the same category outside of saying these are some random books. The first of which being Frank Miller's first work on Daredevil, Daredevil 158. Yeah, this copy is beat. You can see it. This is beat up, and covers detached at the top staple. I think the first page is also loose inside here, but still, for $1, I'm not leaving this behind. I just can't. So, randomness. Also, speaking on that randomness, these caught my eye because there's no issue number on them. These are Daredevil newsstands from that volume 2, and if you look up top here, there's no number. There's no number in the box there. They're newsstands. You can see the barcode. Doesn't say direct edition. Straight up. Same thing there. No number. And apparently that was the case for this run of Daredevil from issue, I think, 16 all the way through 44. No numbers on the covers. You have to open it up and find that page with the indicia that gives you all the breakdown of where it was printed and all that to make sure you know what issue you're actually holding in your hand, because it's not anywhere on this cover or in this barcode. So makes it kind of tough to identify the issue numbers that way. And those earlier issues that started the run, they don't even call themselves Daredevil. They're like Marvel Ultimate or something, and then Daredevil. I don't know. It's weird, but definitely interesting. So I grabbed those. Not easy to find. You go looking for them on eBay. I saw one of those sold for like $20 not that long ago, and then you can't find a bunch of those copies. So I guess they're hard to find. I don't know. They just caught my eye because of no price. No issue number. And again, 50 cents. Let's take them. This was just an oddball one. Just caught my eye. I think this is Gilliam March cover. This Looker. It's a one-shot. That National Comics, which I know there's also that Rose and Thorn issue that kind of heated up. This does okay. It's just the cover caught my eye. Kind of vampire thing. Just kind of dug the cover, so I grabbed it. Good read. Interesting story. Something I can see getting adapted into like a quick little show or movie. We Three. Grant Morrison with the weaponized animals. Good stuff. So issue 1. I'm not leaving behind for $1. I heard good things about this series, but haven't read it yet. This is The Seeds by David Aja and Ann Nesenti, if I'm saying their names right. But figured I'd check it out. Burger Books. That was good stuff coming out of Dark Horse. It was almost like Vertigo. It was almost like Dark Horse doing kind of Vertigo books, and I heard some good things about it. So figured I'd grab issue 1, for $1 to check out. I'm not sure if this is still being made or not, but The Trench could be still coming in the form of some horror movie in the DC universe. Who knows what they're doing with those DC movies? I know this is not their first appearance. I think it's issue 1 of this Aquaman series, but this is just a cool cover and one that kind of grabs your eye. So if they do something with that IP, this is the book that people will probably go looking for just because of that cover alone. It's pretty striking. And with Mark Millar doing all that stuff over at Netflix, I don't know. I'm not too excited about Jupiter Circle, but Superior, if they ever do something with that, figured I'd grab Superior 1 for $1. And then I go looking for those later printings too in my randomness, and here is a second print, Ms. Marvel #2. This is from a Kamala Khan's series. This is issue 2. They did like 4 or 5 printings on this, all different colors with the borders down below. I like the blue on the second print, though. Kind of goes with her color scheme more than some of the others. I think they hit yellow and pink, but I kind of dig this one, and I grab any of those prints of any of those early issues because there's multiple printings on a lot of those first issues of her run. I think like the first at least 6 have multiple printings, so I keep an eye out for those. As well as just randomly grabbing a Superman 75 third print just because, I don't know, I just grab these weird later printings, and you find these things for 50 cents. I mean, why not? It's third print. I don't believe it does all that much, but hey, who knows? One day this might end up being hard to find, and somebody will want that third print of The Death of Superman. Yeah, it's got a different color title and all that fun stuff. And sticking with Superman, I got a newsstand of Superman 4, Quest for Peace. First Nuclear Man. I know this heated up for some reason not that long ago, but yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a fun little book. That's why it's in Randomness. I remember seeing that movie, back when I was a kid. Wasn't the best, but it was still kind of fun seeing Superman in the movies fight somebody similarly powered to him, and fingernail claws and all. But that's the random books that I got. I still got a few more, so if you want to hang in there, I'm going to move on to some artist pickups. As you know, I like collecting artists and different covers. So I'm always grabbing Adam Hughes books. So this Chassis #1, if I'm saying it right. A little banged up, but again, 50 cents or $1. I'm not leaving it behind. A lot of people don't equate this into McFarlane, but this Alien cover here, this Alien Alliance, this got a little bit of heat back when the CW did their huge crossover using these aliens, but this is a McFarlane cover. I think it's one of his first over at DC, if I'm not mistaken, or at least an early one. And it gets forgotten about that's actually Todd. So I grab it when I find it for cheap. I think that was also in the 50 cent kind of pile, along with this John Buscema. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I just like this Conan cover. Just dig it. Yellow. It's bright. Figured, again, super cheap. I'm bringing it home, even though I've got multiples. I don't know. OCD. Just like, I know I've grabbed this one before. This Superman Man of Steel, this Joker, but it's Jim Lee. So, also a big fan of Jim Lee, so I'm not leaving this. Or this World of Warcraft 4, also Jim Lee. I collect artists. What can I tell you? Thor 1 doesn't do much, but it's Michael Turner doing Thor. You're not going to get, much new Michael Turner art these days. So collect what you can. This Shadowland Moon Knight, they only had issue 2, but I still kind of dug it. This is a Matina. I kind of like it. Like the dark. Reminds me of what he's doing on Spawn these days. But again, super cheap. I'm grabbing it. Just like this Thundercats issue 3 Joe Mad cover. Just kind of like it. Kind of fun. It's got most of the villains from Thundercats in there. And it's Joe. I like Joe Mad. So I grab it. And then I've just got a few more little oddities for you. As I tell you, I like to buy the weird things. And I consider these, I guess, oddities. So that's why they're in this pile. They could probably fit some of the other categories, but we're just going to stick them in oddities for now, like Punisher Armory. This is number 8. The later ones, I think, are lower printed and a little harder to find and usually end up being a little more expensive. I think they went to 10, but 50 cents, I'm grabbing number 8. My buddy Mike Morello, he loved this book. This is Rune, Barry Windsor Smith, but it's a newsstand. See, down on this side, newsstand. So you don't see a lot of newsstands, especially in that Malibu time frame. So I figured I'd grab that. It's like the Image newsstands, not easy to find, so I look out for them. So I thought grabbing a newsstand of Rune was a fun thing to do. I'd probably like a newsstand of Prime too if I could find one. This just caught my eye because of all the preview stuff. Now this isn't anything because this is not first appearance or anything even resembling a first appearances. And this is just the order form for previews, but it was in there and I needed to get to 40, so I threw it in my pile. Just what the heck? It's Invincible Zeros on the cover, and I'm liking what they're doing on the Amazon show. But like I said, I figured I'd take a chance in this weird preview stuff. Again, this is just an order form, so it's not even a book. But 50 cents. Who cares? This is a little banged up, but I always mention that I like grabbing the toy, like the Toy Biz, the toy editions, and this is the toy version for ASM 301. Just love this cover. I know it's a little banged up here at the top. The staple's a little loose up there, but this came with the this Spidey, the red and blue Spidey, the classic Spidey. So if you bought that figure, you got this comic with it. So it's just a nice way to get this issue if you don't want to pay up for the regular one. interesting reprint. I like grabbing those toy reprints when I find them for cheap. And then the last couple books I got are some Beavis and Buttheads, just ones that I know have been talked about before. I think this one has a She-Hulk in it. This number 4, and then number 8. I just kind of like that cover. And number 10, I think, has a Black Cat and a Silver Sable in the back of it. It's like a Halloween edition book. Beavis and Butthead. I know there was rumors they were coming back. Who knows? I figured I'd grab them again for cheap. Why not? I think these were $1 a piece, so why not buy these for $1? Too bad they're not newsstands, but it's still not too bad. They're in good shape, which is not something you can say for a lot of these types of books. They usually get banged up because they weren't, collected by comic collectors. Weren't really into the Beavis and Butthead thing. It was just more Beavis and Butthead fans might have had these comics, and they wouldn't have treated them with the care that a comic book collector would. So finding a decent copy is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So that's basically most of the stuff that I got for $1 or $2. I told you there weren't that many $2 books in that pile. A lot of the ones I did get were duplicates, but hopefully you enjoyed this and you like what I'm doing here. Please, again, like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you're notified when the new videos are dropping. I got another couple of heat checks coming this week, as well as another dollar bin video later in the week. And yeah, I'm just going to keep the content rolling as long as you guys keep enjoying it. So let me know in the comments what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and I will see you guys next time.